Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Alex Thomas Talk Show. We're here at the Riverside Arts Center, 76 North Huron. Excited always to have you here and get a window in on the cultural and art center here in the Ypsilanti community. Today, on this cloudy, thunderstormy day, we got a little ray of sunshine from the south side. A little ray of sunshine to brighten your day. We have a community advocate from a community that I'm really concerned about, the South Side, First Ward, Ypsilanti. Used to get my hair cut by Mr. Brock. I moved away from here, came and ran by Curly's. It's funny. He's still with just gray hair. But love the South Side, and she's super passionate about that area, much like I am about my home area, West Willow in Ypsilanti Township. So I'm going to be quiet and let Teresa Allen, community advocate, tell you guys about what she wants to talk about. Welcome, Teresa.
Thank you, Alex, and it is good meeting you for the second time. I thought I knew you when you called me, when I heard your voice. I'm like, I know that guy. And then when you said all your connections to West Willow, I was connecting you with Joanne the time we met. So one of the things, well, a few of the things I want to talk about is changing the narrative on the south side of Ypsilanti. What people presume or perceive it to be a bad neighborhood, we are doing some great things over there. We have some great leaders, some motivators, some advocates, some people that just truly care about what's going on the south side of Ypsilanti. And I have been privileged to join forces with each of them and get my footwork in, groundwork in, get my hands dirty, so to speak. You know, I don't like dirt like that, but hey, but yeah, so I am a social worker by nature. I work at Ypsilanti Community High School as the 31A community social worker. I work at Park Ridge Community Center as an assistant program coordinator, where I get to meet many different people from many backgrounds. I make sure programs are running, make sure our partners are satisfied, make sure things are, the wheels are turning at Park Ridge as it relates to programming.
Okay, so you're handling a lot of baskets out there.
Yes.
I'm curious, so what would you say is probably one of the biggest misconceptions about the South Side of First Ward?
That people are robbing and stealing and breaking in houses every day. I live right there in the heart of the south side of Ypsilanti. I work right on the south side of Ypsilanti. Now, I'm not going to act as if nothing goes on. I don't want to give that perception either. But it is changing. It is getting better. We have people with their feet on the ground who are doing awesome work to keep our neighborhoods safe, to pour back into our community, to give back to children, women, men, organizations, recreation, anything you can think of. So I'm just a part of that change. I do it as Sharisa, and then I do it with my nonprofit, Women and Men Working for Change, and then I do it with my own business, Do You See What I See, LLC, where I work. My niche is working with women of color, teaching them how to fulfill their destiny, how to live a life of fullness. So that's just what I'm doing.
All right. Well, I definitely want to talk about the South Side for a little bit, but then I definitely want to get in, and probably for the remainder of the time, Do You See What I See? Do You See What I See?
Yes.
What I see, being focused on women and women of color, and I would imagine that the same issues and the same things that are going on the South Side, really going on in West Willow, my area where I'm really passionate about, and I'd just like to get a chance to get those out and hear some of the solutions, because I can tell you're such a positive person. Everything I heard about you, seeing you on YouTube, and just in this work, you just hear so many people talking about the issue so much, but I think we can hear so much more about some of the solutions. And you've been working in it. So
some of the solutions is all of us coming together, blacks and whites. What needs to happen is people need to come hear from us, not just assume what we need and think that you can be our savior. Come sit down and have a talk with the community, not just with 2 or 3 people who names buzz all around, but come have a talk with the community. We have a rich heritage, we just have a rich heritage, and everyone on the South Side who has lived there, who has been raised there, they love it there.
Mhm.
They love it. And this thing called gentrification, which some people said, oh, it's not happening, but it really is. It's really happening. We have another group of people who are coming in and raising their concerns.
Would you have a guess about what a one-bedroom apartment might cost, like in Ainsworth Circle or something? Because growing up in this area and then moving away for a long time and not paying attention, just moved back in 2016, I always had the perception, and it's still so outdated, like the white townhouses
Yeah.
and everything, and all that. So I remember that, but I know I feel in the vibe, and you can just tell it's different. But you still have that history,
Yeah.
and that part. But as far as the crime in the past, or like open drug sales and such like that, I mean, that's gone.
But you know what? That is going on everywhere. But they want to focus on the South Side of Ypsilanti. It's going on everywhere. And how do I know? Because I'm privileged. I work in the school, so I get to hear about different things going on. But the South Side of Ypsilanti, back to your question.
Yeah.
Now, we read about how Ann Arbor is pushing people out with high rent, and then they're pushing them Ypsilanti. But I was surprised to see one of the houses on the South Side of Ypsilanti being sold for $93,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's high. The economy is going back up, and that's really high. And another house is being sold, asking prices like $141,000. That's over on Hawkins Street. The $93,000 house is on Burton Court. Rent is hitting like $1,200, $1,300.
And I invite the audience, because when you gave the 93,000, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I mean, it's just anyone that's familiar with the area, and you can, and the type of jobs that are available here, you know how that can price so many people out.
Yeah.
And when we look at housing prices nationwide or something, that's going to be definitely on the low end of the scale. Yeah. But it's out of reach for so many of the population, you know. And then it makes me wonder. And I was wondering about the rental, because I mean, so many, because of their credit issues, history, and stuff like that, that rental is the only thing available to them, and they don't. So
and they can be easily priced out of that, just because the economy is on an upswing too. So everyone is trying to get their money. It's not like it was about 10 years ago, where you could get a one-bedroom for $400, or rent a house for a big house, a 4 or 5 bedroom house for $1,100. Now you getting a ranch style home with 1 bathroom, renting out for $1,300, and that includes the South Side of Ypsilanti too. So between $1,000 and $1,300. Let me say that. So
I know Defend Affordable Ypsi and Rising for Economic and Democracy in Ypsilanti are 2 organizations that are really focusing on gentrification and trying to get a real discussion about the issue and influence policy. So I invite everybody in the audience to go to any of those Facebook sites, Rising for Economic Democracy in Ypsi and Day Defend Affordable Ypsi. But now you're a particular nonprofit. Do you see what I see?
Now that's my business. My nonprofit is Women and Men Working for Change, and it's a group of I think it's 8 of us now who are passionate about our community, passionate about giving back in different areas. We were established in 2017, so this is our first year cycle, and we hosted the very first domestic violence 5K run walk in Ypsilanti last October. And it is slated again for October 6, 2018. And then we look at 5K run walk.
Ooh,
over at
I'll catch you in a couple of years.
Yeah.
You can walk. You can walk, huh?
Last year, our first year, Alex, we had, I want to say about 90 registered participants. And can you believe the week before was Easter's homecoming? It was like 78 degrees.
Okay.
That next Saturday, you know what it was like?
Well,
freezing.
October, Michigan.
Freezing.
October,
but we got several people to come out. We got some good feedback, so that our second year we'll be doing it again at North Bay Park, October 6, 2018. So we're already pushing that and marketing that. And so let me go back to, because that's just worldwide. That's,
Mhm.
I mean, worldwide, but let's go back to the South Side. Let's talk about Park Ridge Community Center. We're doing some great things over there. We have our summer camp, which will start up July 2nd. And
It's still time to register.
it's still time to register. Anybody, you can come register. The camp runs for 7 weeks, October 2nd until August 17th, 8 to 4 p.m. The cost is $225 for the entire 7 weeks. We do give discounts for, I think it's over 2 children. You start to get a discount, but you can contact Lavisa Brown at 483-7700, or myself, Sharice Allen. But come on out and support us. We have our annual Summer Fest, which started in 2011 with the backing of OCED, the Office of Economic Development, the Summerfest and Joe Doolin Day.
You know Teresa Galati?
Teresa Galati, yeah.
Is she great?
But she's great. She's great. But she has Oki and okay, let me say her name correctly.
Okay.
And Priscilla working doing the work for Office of Community and Economic Development. But we have a great team over there. Anthony Williamson, Ricky Jefferson, Brian Foley, Liz Settles, Lavisa Brown, Jimmy Mack, Michelle Williams.
And this is all in the Park Ridge.
This is all for our Park Ridge Summerfest Joe Doolin Day. And I speak on that because now the last 2 years, the Heritage Festival has moved their festival to our weekend, which we deliberately, when it was established in 2011, we made a deliberate effort not to have it on their weekend, which was always the 3rd weekend of August. And last year, they moved it to the 4th weekend.
Was it just lack of communication, or just
No.
was it something? I mean, you have reason to believe. I know it was intentional. They don't.
You know what, Alex? At times there is always some intent involved when you know things are going on. And we invited them to the table back in October, and they talked about lack of, due to many of their sponsors and vendors go worldwide. And so the 4th weekend was only weekend they could get and negotiate due to whatever they had going on in their organization. So they put it on the 4th weekend. Summerfest is the 4th Saturday from 11 to 6. We have a good time. Our featured entertainment is Lady Sunshine and the X Band, but we have about anywhere upward from 50 to 70 nonprofit vendors that come out and share resources of all kinds to our community. And we have food vendor, non-food vendor, those selling jewelry, shirts, clothes, shoes, books.
You know, as I said when we spoke before, that like the purpose of the show is to try to fill a void in the local media. I grew up here with the Ypsi Press, like back in the day, and then you could find out about something.
You
That's
could read it.
Yeah.
Yes,
But with that being gone, though, having said that, like all the great events and things that are going on that you just mentioned, are there some good websites, some good Facebook groups?
We have the
Summerfest,
Summerfest Joe Doolin Day Facebook group. We have Park Ridge Community Center. We have a page.
Okay.
So anything you need to know, you can actually, find out on Facebook. But one of the things we realized too is everybody's not on Facebook.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody's not on Facebook. So
and I'm curious, excuse me, if you find this, because I know how much work you do in the community, but a lot of times some of the people that are in power might be a bit older and don't get online that much.
And that's what we talk about.
And totally out of touch.
That's
don't
what
know
we
what.
talk about. Yeah. So that's where we have our JB boss of the hot sauce. He does his own marketing. He's a staple in our community, and those are the things that we want to bring back. As I said before, we have a rich history, a rich culture. We love our community, and we have people who have been staples in our community who love to give back. We look forward to the Summerfest. Myself and Brian Foley, we started a unity and community softball game. So it's like a prelude to the Summerfest, just to bring our community together and let people see that it ain't all about fighting and shooting and cussing. We get together. We have a we have a good time and we play ball.
Mm-hmm.
And they get serious about that.
Oh, I know.
Serious about that. But you know, it's seriously about our community and not allowing people to just come in and make decisions. You know, one of the things I was saddened by was an article in Concentrate magazine where they featured a Caucasian male standing in what we know as the Magic Square.
Right.
And if you're from Ypsilanti, if you're from the south side of Ypsilanti, you know how dear that Magic Square is to us folks.
And this is was that the post that Brian Foley commented on?
Yes,
Yeah, that's what I think I put.
yes.
I commented. I put great looking folks, but it don't look like.
Yeah, it don't look like us. Right.
The south side
And it's
that I'm in.
always they are coming to do great work for us, like they're our saviors, you know. And nobody ever asked, you know, they were coming in to put a soccer field in. Never, they asked little kids, you know, what they want. They never asked. And see, my thing is, it's always a 3-year plan somewhere down the road, a 3 to 5 year plan. So you can come in however you want to, but it's a 3 to 5 year plan. You best believe down the road.
Yeah.
So they make it look good for us, but they have a plan for it to happen.
Well, that's how I had heard about Brian Foley before, and then that's when I was at a city council meeting, and he had spoken about and it was about the soccer, and I think it's actually that kind of variation on soccer.
Tennis,
they
soccer.
like know what's the name of it. Nobody plays that.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
Because it's for them. When I first heard about it, I was at a meeting that actually Brian put together at Park Ridge one time, back in early winter maybe. And anyway, council member Lois Richardson was talking about it, and I said, soccer? Alex, soccer? I know. You know, come on. And the thing is, am I against soccer? No, I'm not. But you know, our kids don't play that. So what you're doing is setting it up so that you can come in 2 or 3 years from now and take it over. And how do I know? I don't know if you got to see this flyer, but it was hanging up. They hung it up, and half of the flyer was the black kids playing basketball at the Magic Square, and the other half were white families walking up with their strollers.
Yeah, I did. I saw that. I did. Yeah.
Is that not insulting? That was quite insulting. And I was taken back by whoever came up with the idea, quite insulting, because what happens is, and this is just how I see it, and this is strictly my opinion, is you come in, you bring that in, and what we do up there, we have fun. We talk mess, we talk trash. It might be some cussing, some fussing going on, but that's just how we play our games. And then you bring these Caucasian folks in, and guess what they do? They start calling the police. Oh, I forgot Becky did that, right? Becky called the police on the people barbecuing. You understand what I'm saying? And so then it changes everything. It changes what we do in our community.
And I think, well, also the tragedy in that, besides it just being wrong, is that there are well-meaning whites out there that recognize this exact issue and stuff, but more often than not, they're not in positions of power and such. And you have the people, at least this is what I found, and I'm really generalizing, but I've seen a lot of leaders of different organizations such that are white that don't know and that would make decisions like that, and thinking that because they talk to a few community members that are connected or something and familiar, that it's represented at all. And that's what, and it hurts it because it reinforced the natural suspicion that we have about outsiders coming in from the history, and it makes it more difficult
and that's what
for the good people.
And that's what happens. They come up and talk to a few people and then make the decision for the whole, and then get mad when we fight back. And maybe I shouldn't say fight back, when we push back, when we begin
defend
to
our
ask
interests,
questions.
defend our community.
Yes,
you know?
defend our community. And then some people say, oh, y'all this and that. And my thing is, don't tell me about what I didn't do last year. Work with me on where I'm at right now. Walk with me on where I'm at. Don't discuss where were you at. Don't ask me where was I at 2 years ago. I'm here ready to work right now. And that's exactly where I'm at. I'm here ready to work. I've been working since 2016. Many things I am getting my eyes are being opened to many things I knew. My mom, I grew up on Harriet Street, Monroe Street. That's where my home has been. My mother, Victoria James, she's big in the community. So it's not like I haven't been. I just been blessed with the time now to really get involved. You know, I sit with the Washtenaw County Public Health with the health improvement plan, and I've been able to see it's just not on the south side of Ypsilanti. We have Whitmore Lake.
Yeah, you and I were speaking beforehand. We both sit on that committee, and then finding out the issues about poverty all over. I mean, I had this misconception that Brighton was all affluent and Whitmore Lake, and no, it's far from that.
It's just
in pockets.
going on.
Yeah, and that goes because we only have a little time. I want to but it goes to what we were talking about of bridging those working class, white working class, Black communities, and real representatives of those communities, broad-based coalitions and getting representatives. I think, or would you say if people really want to find out what's going on the South Side, following those Facebook pages you had,
just don't be afraid to ask. You can drop by. We're open. Actually, Park Ridge, we're having our summer camp starting July 2nd, so we'll be open to 8 to 5 during those times. But once September kicks in, we have awesome Monday morning meetings from 10 to 11, where the whole community, stakeholders, people, partners, those who are doing things in the community, they come sit at a table and share what's going on, what they want to go on, what they would like to propose. They talk about the city budget, city council, Harriet Street, anything. They bring it to the table. And so that's a good outlet there. That's how I got hooked up here with Trevor and Riverside Art Center.
Cool. I made the mistake of saying, "Do you see what I see?" Was your nonprofit? It's your business.
It's my business.
And I really want to I want to hear about. Do you see what I see? And who is who should know about it?
Let me say this: all women should know about it. That was just birthed out of pain that I went through, and I just never want any other woman to hold on and walk in silence and live in silence with so much pain, because I know what it's like. I know what it does to you. It eats at your very soul. And so I'm a published author also. And I wrote my book as a catalyst for a platform to begin speaking. I've been blessed in that area where I do get to go out and speak. But do you see what I see is just one day I was just awakened about 4 a.m. to go look at myself and just see myself and just my pure beauty. And that's where it came from. Do you see what I see? And so I work with women. I said women of color, but honestly, my women empowerment groups, my vision board workshops have been all different women. And that's the blessing in that, where I am able to impact women, leave a little bit of myself, encourage women, inspire women, empower women to live their best life, live to their full destiny, believe in who they are, and look in the mirror and see that woman as for what she is and who she is. You understand? Because many times we're titled, labeled by, we're a mother, we're a sister, we're, I'm a social worker, but it's so much more to what women do.
And what I found, just my experience, just so many of the great women that I've known, they spend so much time taking care of other people, everything, and don't take that moment to see what they see.
There you
go. What I see.
See what you see, right?
So,
that is the point. That is the point, because we do, and that's why when I said, well, women of color, I do. I love my Black women, and that's who I can. I do, because I'm a Black woman. But I realized once I wrote my book, I was able to reach all different women and just, talk to women who are sit on top in colleges, who are VPs in businesses. Mm-hmm. And we have the same struggle of just being us and being all right with being us. And I always say this, my family will say, oh, she's emotional, she have an attitude. But that's Sharice Allen. If I wasn't emotional, if I didn't have an attitude, you wouldn't know what to do with me. But guess what? Some people are nosy. Some people talk too much. Some people ask questions. Some people don't ask enough questions. But that's who they are. And one thing for sure, Alex, is we're all people. We're all human beings. Absolutely. And it goes back to what you said about bridging gaps. Until we really respect each other as human beings who have thought patterns, human beings who have their own reason for acting the way they did, human beings who want to make a change, human beings who just want to sit in the background and hope change happens. Until we really respect each other, and I'm speaking to myself, we're going to be broken. We're going to be a broken people. We're going to be separated. There's always going to be some separation, and it's always going to be the elephant in the room.
Absolutely. And I think people just say that, others, and they hear that and not really think about it. Just a basic level of respect for your fellow humans. Just that, and it's really simple. If you think that, you know what I mean? And if you approach so many of these complex issues with that first, it really crystallizes and it should make it easy.
And I'm learning how to do that, Alex. I'm learning.
Myself also, in all honesty, here at the Riverside Arts Center, and this is LGBTQ Pride Month, and there's been a lot of evolution in terms of the mainstream and in our community as far as dealing with that issue. But I'm 48 years old, and a lot of this is new in the terminology and the language, and just that basic human respect, it makes it super easy. And it shows that our limited perspectives, if you don't do that, you're missing out on so much, and you're in so much ignorance. So I've learned so much here and cool and made so many good friends.
Just being respecting humans just where they're at, because one of the things for sure is I ran across this quote many years ago, and I've been using it for about 10 years. It's just, everyone wakes up fighting a battle. And it's just easier to be kind to people because we don't know what anyone is going through. You know what I'm saying? One of the things we as women, we're good. We would put on our makeup, our lipstick, get our hair taken care of, and walk out the house as if nothing is taking place. You know what I'm saying? And rent is overdue, the mortgage is due, the car note is due, there's no food on the table, but we will walk tall and just keep on going. Men have this persona. They can't cry. They can't be weak. They have to be strong. It's a lot to carry. And then let's talk about the Black men. It's a target on their backs just in this climate we're living in now. So you don't know what people are going through. I work with students every day who are fighting. You know what I'm saying? Come to school hungry. Come to school just having to be the parent in the home many times. So, crying out, but the first thing we do, and I've been guilty of that as a human being, what's your problem? What's your problem? You understand? Attacking the situation instead of allowing people to just talk and recognize their humanness.
And Teresa, from growing up here and then living away for so long, I was out of the country for 8 years and came back 2 years, you can really see that because of all these pressures and how it creates that culture where there's just a lot of anxiety, and so people are just under a lot of stress, and it's difficult for them to engage in some of these issues without being so emotional and being ration based and looking at it clear. So I think it's up to people like us try to save the discussion, say hold down, it's a human issue. These are serious problems. Take a lead.
And one of the things I do, Alex, is I do a self-reflection all day long, every day. I always say, I look at people and then I'm like, okay, why are you judging? In my head, it ain't, I'm not always talking out loud, but why are you saying that? Because somebody might not like the way you dress, might not like your hair, might not like your shoes. You understand what I'm saying? And here I go, and it's like, just step back and just allow people to be the humans that they are. You know what I'm saying? The world would be a better place if there was less judgment going on and a whole lot of more love going on. A hug and a smile goes a long way. And how do I know that? I worked in foster care for many years, and I saw how children grew when they were hugged and loved on. I saw how they grew when they smiled and their bodies came alive when they were just hugged and loved on. And until we do that as Black people, white people, green people, yellow people, whatever, until we just come together, there's so many divisions and sections and I'm right, you're wrong, this is right, this is wrong, it's a sad world we're living in today, you know.
Yeah, and we have all these pressures, but we got crazy sunshine and all the good things you guys do. I don't want to.
No, we do,
like
but I
and we
just
have a
want
choice.
to, I just want to say because I work with kids all the time and just so many things are going on, just loving. Love really does make the world go round. And it goes back to the work that we're doing with the health improvement plan, the work that we're doing on the south side of Ypsilanti, the summer camps that we're offering, the baseball game, which seems like nothing, but it brings people together. It brings people together.
And the work that you're doing and the focus on the youth, and it makes me, obviously a lot of sadness in the world, but those bright lights, and out of some of that sadness, the big tragedies like the Parkland shooting.
Yeah.
It was, I think, because I was one of those that are really cynical about the activism of the youth, and it just seemed like people don't care or whatever. But you're seeing some great leaders come out of that, and it's turned me on locally to some of like the youth that were in Lynn Settle's class and such. And I think it was like Max Harper and
Max,
but even we were doing our thing before the Parkland and stuff. You did what the company kept. So
Max, Juan Harrison, he's over in Washington, D.C. right now, making some moves and doing some things. So there are people who are doing some great things. And until we open up and see it for truly what it is, we have some awesome African-American young students, young people, older people, doing some awesome things who really do love our city, love our neighborhood, who wants to see it grow and develop, you know? And just like with anybody, I always say they always want to come over to Ward 1 and do stuff, but if we went over to Ward 2 and 3 and made decisions, it wouldn't happen. First of all, it wouldn't happen, Alice, would it? It wouldn't happen, you know what I'm saying? So respect us, and it goes back to the love and respect. Respect who we are and what we do. You understand?
Absolutely. And we got about a minute left. I'll give you, that was kind of a good segue, but I want you, anything else that you'd like to impart and kind of conclude? We got in all the great organizations and things you want to, and the websites and how people can get it. The title of your book. The
title of my book is Revelation, Resignation, Restoration, A Woman's Path to Triumph.
And how can they get a hold of it?
marketingnewauthors.com. marketingnewauthors.com. Revelation, Resignation, Restoration.
Okay.
By Sharisa Allen. So yeah.
And then afterwards, if you can send me links and such from some of the organizations and everything, we'll put it up on the site. You had said earlier, that people say you had attitude or something.
Yeah, they say I have attitude and I'm emotional. But you know, Alex, I just take that all with love. Because I do have attitude sometimes.
Well, I've been waiting to use this quote, one of my favorite quotes, and it's so appropriate. It's from Susan B. Anthony, and it's a little long, but I love it. And it really kind of guides me in this work. Careful, cautious people, always casting about to preserve their reputation and social standing, can never bring about a true reform. For those who are really in earnest must be willing to be anything and nothing in the world's estimation. Publicly, in season and out, avow their sympathies with the despised and bear the consequences. And I think really, if you want to make things happen, you got to have that attitude. I don't think you don't need it. You're gonna be you.
I do, and I wear it well, though. Okay. That's why people love being around me. Actually, the attitude rubs off.
You got to get things done.
I make things happen. I do.
Thank you so much. You'll be back again. Okay.
And
we got to get Brian
up
there too.
Him and let him. He would love it. That's his niche. This is his niche right here. Advocating, talking about some things. This is his niche. I'll let him know.
Yeah, we have to do an hour show because the African history, everything.
Now with him, you
the
will.
broader
I'm
stuff.
gonna tell you, with him, you're gonna have to do an hour show.
Okay. Thank you. I'll come back next week. Oh, here still started at 7, and I didn't mention before, we have a Vogue dancing event from 7 to 11 here in 76 North Huron. Please stop in. I did a little research on I wanted to put it in the introduction that, Vogue dancing has roots in Egyptian hieroglyphs and then Harlem ballroom dancing. So Wikipedia Vogue is not a Madonna video. What's going on here, 76 North Huron. Thank you so much. See you next week at 7.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. Come on up, Sam. Cut it off. Bye-bye, y'all. All right, that was cool, right?